Hi, for my Christmas card today I'm going to be using the Rejoicing With You stamp set from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to start by stamping the angel in silver, or stamping it in clear Versamark, and then using silver embossing powder. I've already gone over the elegant eggplant paper with the embossing buddy. And this embossing powder is also Stampin' Up! Any fine powder would work. Now I want to cut this out, starting with my large scissors to do this big rounded edge. I'll get a little bit better cut that way. And then we'll go to the detail scissors for doing the rest of the image. And I'm just going to cut around all the outside edges. Okay, with this cut out, I'm going to set this aside. We'll need this a little bit later on the card. The next step of the card is to do the background, which I'll be doing with Perfect Pearls. And I've already pre-cut my white watercolor paper in this shape using a die cutter. And this is the type of effect that I'm going to be creating. I'll show you some of the samples of ones that I've already done, and you'll see that you can get a variety of looks using the Perfect Pearls, and they really glisten. You can do a very marbleized look, or you can do just a couple of colors. That one's still kind of marbleized. This is, I think, one of my favorites that has the little bit of dots of purple instead of the purple mixed in. I found that when I mixed a lot of the purple color in with the blue and the green, it tended to go a bit brown. So I had fun trying some different ones. Let's see what we come out with on this version. I have 3 colors of Perfect Pearl, Forever Blue, Blue Patina, and then I have a purple color called Forever Violet that we're going to use just a little bit of. I have some water and the big fluffy brushes that come with the Perfect Pearls, and then I have one of the smaller brushes for a little bit of additional touch-up to it. You can mist your paper beforehand, or you can just use more water as you're working. Either way, I'm going to just do a little bit of misting there. And if your pearls have been in a drawer or something, be sure and shake them down so they don't all come out the lid when you open them up. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of the blue and start adding it to this background. Dipping my brush in water and then picking up some of the green. And to add the purple, I'm going to try what I did on that one sample that I really liked, which was to take some of the purple on a dry brush and just fleck it onto the background. kind of in little bits. And before I dry this, I'm going to add just a little bit of misting of water, and it'll help the colors kind of run together. Watch your fingers as you're doing this. Straighten my paper up. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of touch up. I'm not crazy with how that blue blended up here. Sort of went into everything. A little bit on these edges. And this is where you can get kind of more of a marbleized look if you go over it a second time. Okay, I've got a little too much. The more you go over it, the more marbleized it becomes. And you don't really have to dry this with the heat gun. You can just let it air dry. In fact, I'm going to kind of let the last of this just air dry, and then we'll come back and do the final stages of the card. Right, now this is dry, so I'm going to stamp my greeting on the top of it and emboss that. I learned this technique for using the water with the perfect pearls and creating a background from a Christina Werner video, and in her case she stamped and embossed first and then went over with the perfect pearls and created a relief design. What I found in this case was that this image is so detailed that when I did that it didn't quite all show through, so I found that it was easier to emboss on the top. So I'm going to ink this in Versamark. Okay. Now I'm ready to assemble. So I have some white satin ribbon that I'm putting around my Elegant Eggplant card base, and the image is going to just lay right on top, so this doesn't need to tie or anything. I've got a real fancy way of attaching it here. I'm just going to use some tape. Hold it in place. And then some dimensional adhesive. I've cut my card base at 5 1/4 inches wide because these cards are going to be the cards my aunt sends out for Christmas, and I think it will be a little easier for her to put them in the envelopes if they're not so wide and just so stuffed in there. sometimes when you get a lot of layers on a card, it gets harder to fit in the envelope. So I think it'll be a little bit easier on her hands. Alright, so I can add this with dimensionals, or I can do some glue dots. I think I'll do some dimensionals. And I've purposely kept this card free of any brads or buttons or anything so that it won't take extra postage for her. Alright, and that's my card today using the Rejoicing With You set and some perfect pearls and lots of embossing. These you can batch process. They actually go pretty quickly for the great effect that you get. Thanks for joining me today.